Hey everybody, how's it going? So today I'm going to try to talk a little bit about something that is quite new to me and very familiar with many of you, and what that is, Eurovision Song Contest. This is an interesting thing for me, as the least I can say. I'm going to try to go through bits of information that I found out about it, what I thought about it, and the whole nine yards. So actually, a few of you mentioned that I should watch it and give my kind of opinion about it. So I thought, you know what, that sounds like a great idea. Decided since you guys are curious about it, why not try it? So here we go. Basically, for anybody not familiar with what it is, if you're in Europe, you know exactly what it is. I don't need to describe it to you, but anybody outside of the European Broadcasting Union, probably has no clue. Me from the United States, I actually never heard of it. I know that people know about it there because I saw, at least this year, I saw that there were tweets from people from the US, probably just more and more broadcasts. I even saw that YouTube was broadcasting it live, which was pretty cool. Um, but I never heard of it before. So this was a very new thing for me, which is surprising, especially being that it is like the longest running song contest on for TV. Break it down real quick. Basically, it is where countries in the European Broadcasting Union, I think that's one of the big qualifiers, they get to submit songs that are going to be performed live and go out and try to get up votes to get onto the finals and semifinals and all those different things. And then at the very end, which was last night, um, they compete in the ultimate final contest of which country has the best performance overall. You can't vote for your own country, which I thought was a really cool thing there. And other than that, it's just a pretty much call in and just put your votes in. So it's like an American Idol type voting system, but for European countries and artists. So yeah, very interesting. Now, Europe is all sorts of languages and countries and stuff. So, I mean, of course, they're going to have to pick some kind of universal thing, and English being more or less the business language and the relatively worldwide used language, they spoke that. But I found it very odd that there was a lot of French translation going on. There was no other countries giving translation from the hosts or any of that type of stuff. So I was very shocked because their whole theme was building bridges, which was, more or less of bringing countries together and having more unity, right? And bridging the gaps between countries and cultures and all that type of stuff. And yet they still had to go and put French translation every once in a while with things. It's like that kind of defeats the purpose, right? Um, there was also another note about the bridging the gaps. I know there's conflicts and different things that are going around and around the world and stuff, and it was very sad to have the audience booing when Russia was getting votes. The artist is obviously not some militant force that's involved in the negative side of these country conflicts and stuff, which, is not to discredit anything and not to say that you shouldn't feel negative about countries doing evil things or, non-ethical things. But at the same note, people need to understand that not everybody part of a country or part of a ethnicity or religious group is involved in that. So for these people to be booing someone getting high notes, it was saddening. When people are having positive moments and there is good being shown, just go with it. Enjoy the good. Don't try to put the bad back into that, okay? I'm done with that part. Anyways, let's move on. So to some of the songs. This to me is a very strange style, I guess, of music. It was almost as though the point of these songs were to be kind of corny or um oh boy, how could I put this? It was strange. It was almost as though it was kind of like locked back in time for most of the songs. There was Sweden's, which I felt was very appropriate for the time, for the current flow of music and the current trends and themes. Also, Norway's song, I thought it was really nice. Also, very time appropriate. It flowed with what kind of music is going on with today's, you know, generational style music. But there was so many other things from ballads to 90s style pop, all the way to 20s swing to unplugged headphones being worn and air violin. Yeah, that was a little different. But anyways, I'm just gonna go over a couple of the groups or the performances that I thought were notable, that kind of stood out to me. So about the air violin and headphone stuff, that was with Slovenia, I believe it was. Um, that was, I guess, the proper song to start the evening off. Definitely reminded me of an entry level kind of opening band type gig. The song had potential. I think the singer, maybe she was nervous or trying to be too unique, but there was something about the sound of her singing that just ruined it for me. Otherwise, um, the song itself wasn't that bad. I saw potential for it to be a catchy tune. It just, and those headphones, the headphones, as far as I could tell, were not plugged into anything. So that was a bit odd for me. Everybody has their styles. Don't get me wrong. Go for it, be unique, and that's great. But that was a little off. And then the person off to the side there, I don't know what that was supposed to be, but the air violinist person thing, performing arts. I don't understand it all. But there was that. That kind of immediately I was like, whoa, what am I watching? What did you guys get me into here? But then it progressed on. And so we had other things like what was the other one I noticed? We had the UK, which was that 20 style swing with an interesting kind of electro twist to it. That was fun to watch. Great, energy in the song. Um, Lithuania. What do they do? They had this kind of cute High School Musical song. That's my best way that I could put that one. It was definitely High School Musical. It was the first thing that popped into my mind. But it was cute, yeah. Um, you got Norway with the Monster Like Me. Gotta obviously throw that out there. I felt like I said it was a very time appropriate song. Well done. Um, Performance wise, I think that it could have stepped up. There was I understand it was all about the performers, the pair there, and their little message they were putting out, but all of the other groups had so much more kind of pizzazz in their performance. Utilizing that amazing stage set that they had. That was an impressive thing in itself. But I think that one thing that could have helped Norway get a little bit higher in the ranks was to put um, more into the overall experience. It's all about getting the crowd hyped up, and I think that was the only part that got missed in their song. They could have done a lot more with the graphic effects. Not that it was needed for the song, because the song was, I think, is great, but to bump the audience, get those votes higher, that performance could have been several levels higher, I think, with better graphics. And that brings me to Sweden. Now, Sweden's song was great. I know all my Norwegian viewers are gonna be like, no, it's Sweden, Norway's better. I understand it, but Sweden did it. I called that they were going to be the winner after I saw his performance in the pre-finals or semifinals. He utilized that stage setting just perfectly, with the little animations and things like that. And the song was also very upbeat, very inspirational, and like just go get it and thrive and be something for the future. It was just I thought it was a very impactful song, and I was impressed with it. So I called the winner before I even tweeted. I actually tweeted on my other account, which I'll put a little picture here, that Sweden was probably gonna win. I was pretty sure with that one. I thought I was posting on my AmeriNorge account, but unfortunately I didn't. So there's a little picture. Latvia. Latvia had a really interesting song, and that girl had a just powerful voice. It kind of gave me the chills a couple times. So that was an interesting watch. Would have been nice to have her move around more, but obviously that dress wouldn't allow that. Um, Spain, I don't know what they were singing about, but she was truly feeling that song. Had a massive tear fall out of her face. That was pretty cool. Maybe it was because she knew her dress was gonna get torn off from her. Did you guys see that? And then there was Georgia with this. Not really that bad of a song, but it was an interesting thing. So in all, my first experience with Eurovision, not too bad. Like I said, it's an interesting thing. I feel it's a little corny, but also I think that gives it its charm. So it's not a bad thing at all. Will I watch it again? Definitely. It did hold my attention. It was interesting. I don't think I'll ever be into it like I see with some of the other people just going completely ballistic over it, yet I never have been. Even in my most favorite artists, at their concerts, I've never been the crazy screaming fan that lives for this stuff. So that's just me, but I will definitely watch it again. It was fun. Um, Really interesting to see all the countries coming together and really in the whole grand scheme of things staying peaceful and really just kind of showing that whole thing about being together, and not worrying about border differences and all that stuff. And that I think is what makes the Eurovision Song Contest really nice, is because in general it is all about bridging the gaps and bringing people together in a common interest, which we need more of that in the world, right? So definitely a cool thing. I will be watching it again. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think. If you thought Sweden deserved the win, or if you felt someone else should have got it. Really curious to know what you all felt about that. Yeah, and until next time, hope you enjoyed this video. Comments, thumbs up are definitely appreciated. And until next time, thanks for watching. Ha det bra.